you'll see, Armin, that this is sort of how I am. You know, the United States Secretary of Defense during the Vietnam War, Robert McNamara, is one of my case studies because he's a fascinating person. Actually, the Vietnam War is widely considered to be a disastrous foreign policy, a military policy enacted by the United States. And Robert McNamara is interesting to us because he was the last person that we would expect to create a disaster. And that's also important. I mean, we have to learn about failure. We can't just, a lot of these books at the airports are all about success.
Right.
They're all success stories. Here's how I made my first billion, and here's how I became whatever. Sometimes you have to learn from disasters, from failures, because how are we going to learn to avoid those mistakes, right?
Sure.
Again, history. So Robert McNamara was considered to be one of the best and what they call the best and the brightest. And he came in as a whiz kid to government. He had been the youngest president of the Ford Motor Company at the time. He was just a brilliant guy. And he, in the film The Fog of War, which I love to show to my students because it's so creative and so thoughtful about leadership, gave a piece of advice, which I actually repeat to my own students, which is when you ask a question, don't answer the question that you were asked. Answer the question that you wish you would ask. So I'm going to apply that now. Okay, I'm sure how it's done. So I don't want to avoid your question, but I don't want to just give random names of people. I actually hear a lot from especially young people, but people that I work with and people who study with me today, that they feel that we are in a serious crisis of leadership. They often say, well, our leaders of today really compare so poorly to some of the leaders that we had in the past. And I'm not just talking about America, I'm all over the world. Sure. I hear this. We sense that we have unqualified, irresponsible leaders, leaders who don't step up to the gravity of the moment, leaders who seem to be thinking mostly about themselves, actually, not about the world at large. And there are many countries in which you can see this explicitly. I'll name one, okay, to be provocative. Great Britain, which saw, leaders from, even in recent history, from, Churchill to Clement Attlee to Harold McMillan, Harold Wilson. These were leaders who were able to recognize true problems, and they had different viewpoints, but they grappled with them in a serious way. And I hear from actually many of my British friends and British students that they feel that it's really disappointing to see the leadership that you see today compared to the past. And this is not science, it's an impression that people have. So I think that my sense is that people are coming to this. And one of the reasons why I see so many people in my classes and so many people are coming to me to study about this is because they sense that we can learn from the past because the present simply is not measuring up.
Right.
So I don't think that I want to say, well, here's a prime minister that I like, or here's a president that I like. I want to say that the leaders that I admire now are the ones that I see preparing for leadership tomorrow. They're people, again, they're not famous. They're at the beginning of the road, but they are taking leadership very seriously. They are taking the world very seriously, the challenges that we face very seriously. So I think that we have admirable leaders around us. We just have to look around, and we ourselves are potentially those leaders. Every single person listening to this now is that admirable leader. You have to find those qualities in yourself that enable you to emerge in the first place. And then you have to find that zone, that passion, that issue, that work, that project that brings out the best in you. right? And then we will be talking about you as that admirable leader. So these people exist. They are among us. They are with us. And we want to encourage them. We want to identify them. We want to nurture them. And if they happen to be us, right, you, then you want to step up. And there
Just
will
at
be
a,
people who will follow you.